breaking down the political landscape. This is KQ Truth for you. Political honesty rooted in God. This is KQ Truth for you.
Good evening. Welcome to KQ. I'm Ken.
I'm Kevlon.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. This is KQ the Truth for you.
Anymore. I don't even think Precious.
Good evening. Welcome to KQ. My name is Kevlon.
And I am Ken.
We are coming to y'all from the mean streets of Montgomery, Alabama, where the right-wingers show up and never show out. And today we are particularly excited and overwhelmed with joy.
Absolutely. Looks like Dark Brandon may be back. He's on a comeback tour, baby.
Yeah, it's been about 10 to 12 different appearances since the disastrously horrible debate. We have the Democratic Party in disarray, half of them, or a good percentage of them, screaming for him to get out, and a good percentage of them begging for him to stay in. Me personally, here's my take. I don't give a flying flip. It's up to Joe Biden. He's already won the delegates to be the nominee. And it's up to him whether he wants to step down. If he decides to step down, more power to him. And we have plenty of people in the bullpen. And I just hope that the Democrats can coalesce behind whoever the Democratic nominee ends up being and gets in there and beats Donald Trump. We still have, Rovember on our side.
Oh, yeah.
And we have the fact that a former president is a total jackbrain idiot. We have that on our side, so I think we'll be in pretty good shape. What do you think?
Yo, I'm thinking we're gonna be in pretty good shape. Simply because, yeah, like you said, Rovember. That is the fact that they are, the Trump Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, and women didn't like that. They're not going to show signs of liking that in November, so they call it Rovember. You also have the whole Project 2025 jumping off and getting exposed.
Yeah, we did a show about that 4 months ago?
4 months ago, we did a show. We actually broke out the application that Trump has them fill out. That by the time you finish with this application, it should prove that you're a 100% bootlicker.
You're a 100% cult member, sickle fan?
Yes.
And you'll do anything Trump says and skirt the rule of law for his favor, and then they'll put you in the administration. And that way, he'll have jackbooted thugs throughout the administration, and they can actually do what the Supreme Court said, which is break the law with impunity, and nobody will tell nothing, and it'll be a ridiculous thing.
Yeah, and they can just go after all their political enemies, retribution. That is what the Republican platform is now. It's retribution against everybody else, kick all 11 million people out of our country that they don't think belong here.
Camps and
doggone concentration camps. Trump has said it so many times that he wants to execute all of the drug dealers.
Go after the media. Shut down
MSDNC, as he calls it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a fun time for a whole lot of people. And as well, he wants to go back to tax cuts for the ultra, mega rich.
And who do you think gets to pay for that? Middle America.
Oh,
you and me.
The funniest thing that I saw last week, well, it may have been earlier this week. So it got reported that all of the major networks, the CEOs of every major network, from CNN, MSNBC, Fox, basically all of them, New York Times, USA Today, all of their CEOs are donating money to Donald Trump. So you wonder why the media is just still stuck on 12 days ago when Joe Biden had a bad day at the debate, because I personally, don't quote me on this now, but I think the man got poisoned. I think he was poisoned, because you don't just go into that mode and then snap right back 2 minutes later. He's been normal ever since. He
was at the Waffle House that same night and showed up in the morning at a rally.
Yeah, he was balling at Waffle House about 2 a.m, and they got it on tape, and it was extremely cognizant at that point. So
yeah, but to your point about the news media, I mean, the reason that they'd rather do this, like if they treated Trump like any other candidate in history would have been treated, he would have been ostracized continuously by the news media, because it's unthinkable that we have a felon who is up on espionage charges, already been adjudicated as a rapist. The judge said it, not me. Go fuss at the judge. Has multiple other women who said that he sexually assaulted them. Was on Howard Stern talking about how he would be dating his own daughter if it wasn't his daughter, and talking about she's hot and got a hot body, so he's a weirdo. Also, he called the Secretary of State in Atlanta and tried to wrestle him into finding 11,780 votes. So the list is so long, I can't even go through it, you know. But there's no way in history, no one else in history that would have been given a fair, a reasonable assessment by the media, except for Donald Trump. For some reason, he's bending the paradigm to a point where what he is doing is acceptable, and that is the problem. So I'm not gonna fall for it. I'm not one of the MAGA cult members, and y'all ain't gonna never trick me.
Right. We got a couple of little quick video clips we're gonna play.
But you remember back in the day when Trump was running the first time, the CBS, the head of the CBS news organization, a quote from him was, "Yes, well, he's horrible for America, but he sure is good for our ratings." And that's what the media is looking for. They're looking for ratings. So they're going to play this game and sit here and act like Joe Biden, who really just has to make decisions when he's president. He doesn't have to run a marathon or lift anything.
Right. Or put on an excellent show.
Yeah. It's not about a show. I like boring presidents personally.
Yeah.
I don't want a reality TV show guy who suggested injecting disinfectants during a national crisis where 1 million Americans died. I don't want that guy running the thing.
Hey, but the ratings went through the roof when he did. Now I'm telling you, the ratings went through the roof. All right, let's get on to these clips, man. I think I want to go with this one first.
Yeah.
In 1949, the leaders of 12 countries, including President Truman, came together in this very room and created the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the single greatest, most effective defensive alliance in the history of the world.
I didn't even know what the hell NATO was too much before, but it didn't take me long to figure it out, like about 2 minutes.
And the American people understand.
Hold up. Now, this guy walked through the door as president of the United States and did not know what NATO was. That's what he was talking about.
Yeah. Had no clue what NATO was. It took him 2 minutes to figure out Putin doesn't want us in that anymore. So I'm going to start saying we're going to get out. If you're not paying your fair share, then I'm not going to help you. Yeah,
the best military alliance in the history of the world has kept all of Europe out of war, because if you attack one of us, then all of us are coming along. And Putin can't have that. So Trump can't have it.
Y'all saw how we did over in Iraq and Afghanistan when all them people came in there and got all together, and countries all Canada.
Yeah, they was on our side.
They was on our side. Yep.
Coalition of the willing.
NATO.
What would happen if there was no NATO? Another war in Europe. American troops fighting and dying.
Everybody has a quarter water spot. Where water comes out, they don't have anything for me.
It wasn't inevitable. Again and again at critical moments, we chose unity over disunion.
Sir, Chris Christie is not a fat pig. Please remember that. He is not a fat pig.
Progress over retreat.
I said, no, I will not protect you from Russia.
Freedom over tyranny.
When people who love our country protest on January 6th in Washington, they become hostages.
Hope over
protest.
Oh my goodness. Come on, man. Y'all ain't seeing the difference between a statesman and a freaking clown?
A buffoon?
Straight clown. This dude don't. I'm trying to figure out what they love about him so much.
He said that the people who had Republican and Democratic Congress people running for their lives and built the gallows outside and was in there yelling, "Hang Mike Pence," beat the heck out of cops to a point where 150 or 60 of them were admitted to the hospital. One of them died the very next day, and his family blames Donald Trump for his death because he got injured and had a heart attack and all that. Officer Fanone got tased, he had a heart attack right then and there on the spot because his body couldn't handle the hand-to-hand combat for hours, and the whole time Trump sat there and did nothing. And then he has the nerve to call these people, these cop beaters, political prisoners and hostages. And
wow. Yeah, did you see the video? I posted it on Facebook. The guy shooting, busting caps in the air. Oh yeah, one of the MAGA rally people was shooting, busting caps in the air.
January 6th?
Yes, they finally caught up with him.
But they ain't have no weapons down there.
Oh, they said they didn't. And then there's another one. He's out of Georgia. He went down there. He had thousands of rounds of ammunition, a long gun, and a pistol. And he put in a what you call it when he sue to get he wanted his pistols and his long gun back.
Yeah, he wants his guns back so he can gear up for the next.
Yeah, the election's coming up. He's gonna need them. He's got to attach his bump stocks. All right, we're almost to the end of this.
Let's look at the Jefferson Memorial. Let's look at the Washington Monument. Let's go and look at some of the beautiful scenes, and you end up getting shot, mugged, raped.
Make no mistake, Ukraine can and will stop Putin.
I had a very good relationship with Putin. We talked about it. It was the apple of his eye.
This is a pivotal moment for Europe, for the transatlantic community, and I might add for the world.
Did you ever hear of Hannibal Lecter? They always say, oh, that's terrible, that Trump would say. He is rambling about Hannibal Lecter. No, I'm not rambling. Yes, oh yes, and quickly, says President Trump. Yes, oh yes.
I feel sorry for them people that was in the background, man. It was hot out there. That was Doral in Florida. It was hot out there.
Like 102 degrees out there on them, boy. They don't...
Yeah, he wouldn't let them in the door. I think Doral's got some convention space and everything, man. He didn't even let them people in there.
That's how MAGA do, boy. And then it's crazy that he ends up at Doral because they say that he can't get, they won't nobody else rent him space because he don't pay for the space. He don't pay for security. They trash the place. He don't pay for the cleanup. He always says he's going to pay and then he never pays. So everybody knows that now. So they're not renting him space. So he's got to have all his rallies at his own properties. And they're not even his properties. They're actually owned by Russia via Deutsche Bank. So.
Yeah, and this is what you call a pure juxtaposition that should be earth-shattering. Somebody who's concerned about the historic nature of NATO versus somebody who didn't have a clue about NATO when he walks in the door. Somebody who wants to stop Putin, because Putin is not going to stop at Ukraine if he was given Ukraine like Trump wants to do. He's going to move on to Poland. He's going to move on to several of these other countries that he decided that he wanted to gain power over. His job is to discredit democracies all over the world as much as possible, because that means the more money is going to flow into his pockets. And Donald Trump is the conduit for that. And we can't sit back and act like it's natural for the United States president to align with dictators in order to overthrow other democracies in the world. That is literally what Trump is trying to convince us is the right thing to do. Let's stop the madness.
Yeah, let's stop the madness. Well, I think we might shoot on to one more. Just got another little clip. We might skip around on this one a little bit. These people out here on the streets, man, they something else.
47% of people said in a recent poll that they're fearful of civil war in this country. Do you feel like we're close to that?
I mean, yes. Yeah.
In what way? I mean, we can't have a land war like we had in the 1860s, probably, right?
But illegal immigrants, it's going to happen no matter what.
The 47% of Americans in a recent poll said that they think there could be civil war in this country. Do you see that?
I'm in the Army. I don't want that. I don't want civil war.
Are you active duty?
I'm National Guard, but I'm going deployment this November of this year. And I don't want civil war. People is talking about war and things like that. People who don't know nothing about it. This is something that should never happen. I hope it never happen. You know, word it's better not even use it. But people is using it like for nothing. But I'm telling you, it's people who don't know nothing about war, about what it is. You know, suffering, this type of things.
Kudos to him.
Yeah. Now, that is a MAGA sycophant. He had the hat on, and that was a snazzy MAGA hat. I'm saying
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, if I was going to get me a MAGA hat, that's what it would look like. Or this guy that's on the screen now. I could probably rock that too.
Yeah, the one thing about the MAGA folk, they're pretty good with the hats.
Yeah. And I think this guy's going to be touting his Christian values, though I don't know if you can tell what his shirt says. It's pretty snazzy. Here we go.
It says luck.
Yeah.
A recent poll said 47% of Americans think that there is going to be a civil war in this country. Do you agree with that?
Could happen with the turning point in this country and the way things are going and how bad it's gotten. I think the people are tired. I think they're fed up. And
with what specifically? I want to ask this question because if you look at the numbers, we have historically low unemployment. Inflation is coming down. The Fed is going to most likely be lowering interest rates. People are getting back to work and cities are opening up again. In general, I just want to know what the doom stuff is. Like what is the bad stuff?
Well, I don't think that's true at all.
I'm not inventing that. I'm just going off the numbers we always go off of historically.
Yeah, I mean, where are these numbers coming from? Like, I think inflation's at the highest. I think
inflation is up.
Oh, I'm pulling them out of my butt. Obviously, this guy knows what he's talking about. I mean, you can go online and Google it if you want to and see all of the things that make this economy run smoothly. I mean,
so I want to do a somewhat of a economy assessment based on this one individual right here that's on the screen. All right, so that hat that he has on, that's a cowboy hat with the flag under the bottom and all that. That thing there's probably going to be about $150, $200. He's got on a dark Brandon shirt, that he picked up at the rally. That was probably about $50, $60. He's got a Mr. T starter kit that looks like that could be platinum, maybe silver. What do you? Yeah. Either way, he spent a whole lot of money on his ticket to get there.
He traveled.
Yeah, down in Doral and all
I'm
that.
Sure he ate pretty good today.
Oh, yeah. Eating good. Nice shave. Yeah, man, this dude here is lying, man. Hey, the economy is not doing nothing to him. If the economy sucked that bad, he'd be at home boiling potatoes instead of out here in the streets with a dang on $300 Trump.
He might be sitting in a food line like they were at the end of the Trump administration.
Exactly.
But it's coming down is what I'm saying. And the same measurements that we've used for Reagan and Clinton and Obama and Trump and Bush and everybody we're using now as we always have. So I'm curious as to where the things are not good is coming from.
I mean, we got crime running rapid in the inner cities, in all of our democratic cities.
Crime is down all over the country, and the cities where crime is up, they are mostly in red states where the state is in control of the cities, not the cities in control of the state, and funding comes down from the state to the cities, and pretty much in any democratic area, the state is not going to fund it well enough to protect the citizens. It's the same ploy that's been going on for years and years and years.
Yeah, they're going to figure it out.
We got, like I said, gas prices record high. Yeah, of course they're coming down now. Inflation's coming down now because we're getting close to the election. But the past 3 years, it's been a show, to say the least.
And do you blame?
So inflation didn't happen all over the world. It only happened in the United States because Biden did it.
Right. And inflation is still horrible everywhere else around the world, except guess where?
The United States.
Take a wild guess.
Where does Biden lead?
I'm telling you.
The president for that?
100%. I blame his whole everything for that. All the Democrats for that.
So the Democrat,
it was not like that. Everyone was prospering. People were making money.
Well, we had a pandemic and people were out of work. It was a disaster, the economy.
Yeah, the pandemic, of course, that happens during Trump's election. No coincidence there.
Well, I mean, it's not coincidence or incidence. It just happened. And the way, during Bush, the World Trade Center was bombed. I mean, those are things that happen to U.S. presidents, right?
I mean, there's a lot that can be looked into all of that. But I don't know, I just think the way the country is now, how bad it is, and yeah, you can say the numbers are going down and whatnot, but yeah, we're getting close to the election. I just think that Trump will bring everything back to the way it should have been, these past 4 years, and that's what it is.
Who is that?
Yo, man, the way that it would have been like, let's see. So the end of his term when COVID was rapid and people were like, nah, we don't trust the bleach guy with our votes. And so they voted him out. And if he had stayed in, you think it would have turned out better than what Joe Biden gave us? I mean, Trump led us to the point that he led us to.
if he did not mismanage COVID so bad, he shut down too slow and he opened up too quick. Okay. And not to mention, there was no leadership with PPE. There was no leadership with funding and mask suggestions and all of that kind of stuff. If you notice, as soon as the vaccinations kicked in and we were getting back on our feet, what was going on in the red states where there was anti-vax propaganda going on, part of it fueled by Trump, even though his administration pushed the vaccine initially.
Yeah.
They
named it warp speed just to basically take away confidence, to make you think it was done too fast, maybe, and it wasn't going to be safe or something. But
the vast majority of the deaths were happening in red states because the leadership that they were listening to was encouraging them not to take the vaccine. Everybody else was getting vaccinated and the numbers were going down and we were able to flourish.
I don't know how many right-wing radio broadcasters I posted on my Facebook that basically didn't make it through COVID, that were anti-mask, anti-vax.
Herman Cain make it.
Yeah, Herman Cain didn't make it either. He messed around and went to a Trump rally in his old age. You know that dang old man ain't ready for that kind of stuff.
Does President Biden love America?
I don't think so, no.
Can you turn to the left because is that Trump you have shaved into your head there?
That looked like Betty White.
Betty Ford.
Henry Ford.
Wow.
Betty Jean King.
Somebody shoot the barber. He should have went to one of them Afro MAGA barbers, man.
You must really love the guy then, huh?
I care about him because he loves America and he's different. He's not the regular politician guy, and that's why it made me vote for my first time in my life in 2016.
You say he loves America, but he broke American law. Does that give you any pause about supporting a felon for president?
No, because it's all a scam with them about the courts.
Does that give you pause at all, voting for someone who was convicted of a felony?
Absolutely not. That was a sham trial, and Joe Biden showers with his daughter, so I'd much rather have somebody who has 34 false counts of felony against them than someone who showers with his precinct.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, somebody that showers with their daughter. So I don't know if you all were aware of this, but me and my brother were ultra aware back in the day. There was this lady who was suing Trump. She's basically one of the Epstein girls.
The victim.
Yeah, one of the victims. And it was when she was 13, and Trump had her and another little 12-year-old girl there. And she alleged that all of the documents just dropped about a week or two ago. And nobody's even talking about it still. But yeah, alleged the adjudicated rapist, also alleged child sex offender. But the Jesus is my savior guy is talking about Joe Biden taking a shower with his daughter.
Yeah, no context, no nothing. The daughter has not accused him of touching her or anything. But this guy has reached all the way down to this guy, and he's on the streets peddling the same thing. And somebody close to me had sent a blurb of this. They're magnetized, and they sent something to me and that said the same thing. And so these talking points permeate themselves all the way throughout, and this is all they lean on. But let's just remember, if you want to talk creepy, Trump was Epstein's wingman for 20 years. He never stayed more than a 5-minute cab ride away from Donald Trump's New York residence or his residence in Florida. He partied with him constantly. You can go online and pull up the pictures.
Videos even.
Yes. And one time we were at a video and he said something to Epstein, and Epstein couldn't help himself and started blushing and laughing. I mean, if you say something to that horrible Epstein that makes him blush, man, you must be one horrible creep.
My goodness.
So let's not talk about just raw decency. Only one of these two candidates has flown on the Lolita Express multiple times, more times the log show than what he had said that he did.
Yeah,
so
plenty of times. And then also that's a guy that owns his own airplane that the Lolita Express logs don't show up on there, man.
Yes, indeed.
More times, man. Man had too much money, man. He was flying with the kids, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Teenage daughter.
Yeah, I don't know that part's true, but he does have the 34 counts. If you think it was a sham, what about the Hunter Biden trial? Do you think that was a sham as well?
Absolutely not. There was video evidence of his sister-in-law throwing the gun into the dumpster, and it was his gun, but cocaine residue found on the holster. So not a sham trial.
Question as to why that one wasn't a sham and the first one was. Whatever you think of the other potential trials he's going to have to face, that one seemed to have enough evidence to get 12 of our peers to convict him.
Well, the SEC refused to press charges against Trump for the same issue, and they're the ones that have jurisdiction over that matter.
Both do, but you're right.
Well, that's why.
Yeah.
Right. The federal government refused to press charges, and the federal government only press charges if they feel they can get a conviction, and they didn't feel like they could get a conviction, so they didn't press charges against them.
Well, they deferred actually to New York, right, which is what they do in practice.
It wasn't a state issue.
But okay, well, it happened in New York, and that becomes a state issue, right?
Sure.
And so I think the Fed said this really isn't a federal crime; it's a state crime. You're wearing a shirt with.
Yeah, every single thing you said is false and don't make no sense, and it's a common theme. The one thing that you notice with all of these guys, most of them have their facts totally wrong. Their opinions are based on things that are just totally not true.
And they're wearing about $300 worth of merch during the time that they say is the worst economic period in the history of America right now. But they had an extra $300 to spend on merch and about $1,000 for a round trip ticket.
And they couldn't get in Disney World right now if they had $1 billion because it's so packed. You know what I'm saying? All of the hotels packed. We got all of the hospitality, travel, and entertainment is booming. All of the shows booked. People are balling out of control. People have disposable cash in ways that, really is kind of remarkable considering that we came out of a pandemic. And when the reins got handed over to Joe Biden, everything was in the tank and nothing was guaranteed to come back. But somehow everything worked. It came back because of the policies and everything else. So, we blame presidents when things go bad. Every time things go bad, we blame Democrats. But when things go great, we say, oh, they had nothing to do with it. You can't have it both ways, fellas. Sorry.
Man, I'm just so glad that when dang on they got Michael Jordan sick that time out there on the court. I'm just so glad the Bulls didn't just say, man, scrap him, man. That one time he came out there and he was sick.
Probably because he scored 48 points that night.
but Joe Biden did not score 48 points that night.
But he went to the Waffle House and he scored a hell of a handshake.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That better doggone 4-finger clutch dap, man.
Y'all don't know about that. Trump wouldn't even be able to do a 2-finger clutch dap. His fingers won't even circle around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You try to 4-finger clutch dab him, man. That man might slap the crap out you. Hey. KQ, baby.
There's no comparison. Listen, we'll take a weekend at Bernie's Biden over a full-fledged, crazy, idiotic Trump any day.
Any day, anytime.
Project 2025, look it up. We talked about this before. Don't let these Republicans run this country into the ground. Let's stop the madness.
Stop the madness. KQ, love you. Like, subscribe, share, do what you do. If you made it this far, you probably already liked, subscribed, and shared.
Peace.
Peace.
1, 2, KQ. Can you dig it? And all I wanna do 1, 2 is just listen to you. KQ politics 72. Can you dig it? 1, 2. KQ, can you dig it? And all I wanna do 1, 2, you wish just listening to you. KQ politics 72. Can you dig it? KQ, doo-doo-doo-doo. Can you dig it?
1, 2, KQ, doo-doo-doo-doo.